Have you ever tested a diode on the circuit board and wonder if this diode is still good or is already bad? Or maybe your device is not powering on and you suspect the diode might be faulty. In this video, I'll show you step by step how to test or measure a diode using this digital multimeter the correct way. Welcome back to the channel. This is part 4 of our digital multimeter tutorial series. In the previous video, I showed you how to use your digital multimeter for continuity tests. I showed you how to check if a part is opened or closed. Today we are taking it one step further. We are going to test for diodes. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify diode terminal, use diode mode correctly, know when a diode is good, and know when a diode is bad. Over the years, from my experience, I have tested several or hundreds of diodes in power supplies, from LED circuits, chargers, control board. And one common mistake beginners make is testing diodes the wrong way or using the wrong multimeter setting. Today, I will make this very simple and practical for you. Before teaching you how to use this multimeter to measure diode, I know we all know what a diode is, but let me just briefly explain it. We all know that a diode is an electronic component that allows currents to flow in one direction only. Like, this is the diode. For example, this is a power diode, and this is the cathode, and this is the anode. It will allow currents to flow only in one direction. Only in one direction. A diode has two terminals. It has two terminals, which are the anode and cathode. For example, this is a power diode that can carry a current up to 6 amps. You can see this white or silver stripe on one side. That stripe marks the cathode, this side, while this other side is the anode terminal. Now, there are different types of diodes. We have the LED, like this is light emitting diode, like this. We have the Zender diode, we have the Scottish diode. There are several types of diode, but in this video I'll be using this and this to explain. Now let me show you how to use this digital multimeter to measure diode. Now you turn this dial to this diode symbol here. You can see, some multimeters combine diode mode and continuity test mode. You can see, like in this particular multimeter now, you can see that the continuity test mode and the diode mode, they are combined together. So you just turn this dial to this place. Now you connect the probes correctly. The red probe will go to the anode and the black probe will go to the cathode, like this. Now look at the display. When connected correctly, you should have a voltage drop reading of between 0.5 and 0.7 volts. Now we can see that this is 0.567 volts. That's the voltage drop. Now this means that this particular diode is good. Now I'll do something now. I will reverse the probes. I will reverse the polarity. I'll connect this red to the cathode, like this. And I'll connect this black to the anode. You can see it is not reading anything. This means it is blocking current in reverse direction. We all know diode now is blocking current in reverse direction because this is reverse biased. So it will not read anything. Now let me test an LED. This is an example of a light emitting diode. You can see for light emitting diode, this leg with the longer leg is the anode and the shorter one is the cathode. There's a way you can also know the anode and cathode terminal of an LED. When you check inside an LED, for example, now you will see the cathode usually have a larger pinpoint inside, or a larger cluster point inside this bulb. Now to test this LED, you just put this like this and like this. Now you can see that the LED, it will light up. Now you can see the LED. You can see. For LED, you always see a voltage usually between 1.8 to 3.3 volts, depending on the LED color. You can see. Now, how can we identify a bad diode? If a diode is faulty, how can we know? Now, whenever, let me say this is a circuit now, I want to know if this diode is still good or not. Well, we can see from this circuit here that this is the cathode and this is the anode. Now, let me place my test strip here. Can see, can see. I'm coming. We can see it is reading 172. The voltage drop is 0.172 volts, which means this diode is still good. But whenever you are measuring, you are testing for diode that is connected to a circuit, it is best to remove or isolate this diode from this board in order to get the accurate reading. But whenever you are troubleshooting, it's actually not always necessary, because you can always know that the diode is okay if you should read any value between 0. Between 0.1 volt and above. So you can know the diode is still okay. In this case, this one is reading, let me test it again. This particular one, you can see it is reading around 0.174 volts. So that means this diode is still okay. And please take notes, because this multimeter is showing 174 instead of 0.17. Now 174 is in millivolts. So that 174 means 174 millivolts, which is the same thing as 0.17 volts. Please take note of that. And again, one more important tip is that for troubleshooting, you actually don't need to remove it, because actually this diode is supposed to read around 530 something millivolts, which is 0.5 something volts. So which means this diode is still okay. But how can you know if a particular diode is faulty? If after testing, if it gives unstable or strange readings, like if it gives strange readings, like if it is below 0.1 or the reading is unstable, you can know that this diode is not good. Or if it should show this symbol after testing the diode that is on a circuit to know that this particular diode is bad, if it should show this symbol, it means the diode is also bad. Because when we reversed the polarity of this diode like this, it will also not read anything, because it's not indicating anything. Which means if you also test a particular diode on a circuit board and you discover that it is not reading anything at all, it means the diode is also bad. But from my experience, on a circuit board, it is rare for diode to get damaged. Most of the time, what usually gets damaged is the fuse, resistor, capacitor. But diode, it is rare. Or else, unless some exceptional case whereby the diode is used for maybe the configuration of the circuit board, or the person that designed the circuit board did not really do the calculation of the diode very well to know the amount of power it can properly carry. But it's very rare for diode to get damaged. But now, if you are troubleshooting, it's not always necessary to remove the diode. But if you are designing the circuit, or please, if the diode is still inside the circuit, your reading might not be accurate, because other components may affect the measurement. For best results, remove one leg of the diode from the circuit before testing. Now, in the video I'll post in future, I'll teach you how to troubleshoot a circuit properly to detect the fault. But the purpose of this video is just to teach us how to use this digital multimeter to measure diodes or to test for diodes. Now, a quick recap. So let's quickly recap what we learned. To use this digital multimeter to test for diode, you set the digital multimeter to this, you set this diode to this diode symbol, then you pick the red probe. The red is connected to the anode and the black to the cathode. We check forward voltage drop, you can see. So we set the multimeter to the diode mode, we check forward voltage drop, and we can reverse the probe to confirm blocking, you can see. You know how diode behaves? It conducts current in one way and blocks it the other way around. Now, I want you to do something. It's your turn. For those of you that are beginning electrical electronics, if you do not have a multimeter, go and buy a multimeter. Now, take your multimeter, find a diode, maybe from an old charger or circuit board, and test it yourself. You can also buy it from any electronics shop. Practice is what, if you do not practice, you cannot build confidence. So practice is what builds confidence. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notification. In the next video I will post, we'll be learning how to measure current. I'll teach you how to use this digital multimeter to test for current or to measure current accurately. Thank you very much.